and Christina El Corey, a dietitian with Cone Health, Nutrition and Diabetes Education Services. She's here to talk about how you can stick to a healthy diet this holiday season, even with all of those tempting things that will be given. All right, so social gatherings, parties, they're kind of like a given this time of year. They can be a minefield, though, if you're trying to watch what you eat. So what kind of recommendations do you have to help us stick to healthy eating when we go to these parties?
Yeah, so if it's a kind of party where everybody's bringing a dish, bring a dish that you know is going to help you create a balanced meal. If it's kind of more of an appetizer situation, maybe you're the one to bring the veggie tray. And then go ahead and make sure when you're at these parties and events that you're still thinking about creating some sort of balanced meal, making sure we're getting some protein in there, some fiber-rich fruits or veggies. And it could look like an appetizer plate that has some cheese and crackers, some veggies and dip, some fruit, and that's totally great.
Okay, and you mentioned that this is the time of year where we have a whole lot of activities going on. So sometimes we have like back-to-back parties in like one Saturday afternoon or something like that. So if that's the case, how do we stay on track and avoid overeating when we're going to go to multiple places at a short time?
That's a great question. A lot of people have 2 Thanksgivings, 2 Christmas to go to. And so if you find yourself going to multiple of these events in one day, don't feel like you need to eat somebody's food just to make them happy. We are in the South here, and a lot of people do like to feed you. But you can let the hosts know that, hey, I'm going to be coming straight from another party. I probably won't be eating, but I'm really excited to enjoy this time together. Or if you want to try all of these different yummy foods, have a little portion of each food at the first party and have a little portion of each food at the second party so that you don't feel like you're overfilling your plate and overfilling your stomach at both of the parties.
Right, maybe not as much as you want, but as much as you can and have something there so that you can try all that.
Right, with being mindful that you're going to be doing it all over again in potentially 2 hours,
Right. All right, so people often overindulge. Then we feel guilty. So what is your advice for getting back on track without going to extremes, without all the guilt?
Yeah, so we definitely want to try and steer clear of guilt around food. I kind of like to use the example of like food not having moral value. So not thinking of it in the terms of good or bad. Of course, there's going to be foods that provide us with more nutrients than others, though, right? But when we take away that morality, we shouldn't feel as much of that guilt. And so I always say, like, remind yourself that if you have a really off day of eating at one of these holiday events, just try and get right back onto your normal eating the next day. That's not going to throw you off or anything.
Right, and not think that I'm bad or I'm good kind of thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm,
and
gotcha.
Not kind of having that all or nothing mentality of, oh, I totally screwed up, I'll just, do whatever I want for the next 3 months. Instead, just go back to normal the next day.
Right, okay, gotcha. All right, so some people turn to food for comfort during stressful or emotional situations. That can happen any time of year. Holidays are a big time for that to happen. What kind of strategies do you have for us to help us with emotional eating?
Yeah, coming up with other coping strategies. So emotional eating is super common. It's something a lot of people experience, but being able to recognize when we're truly hungry and not. If it's been a long time since we've eaten, it might be time for a snack, right? But if we're not truly hungry, maybe we think of some other things we enjoy that we can do in these stressful situations, like taking a bath, reading, writing, going for a walk, talking to a friend on the phone, journaling, or maybe stepping away from the stressful family and doing some breathing techniques.
Sometimes you just got to hide in the closet, right, or the bathroom for a little while and say, I need a moment. Okay. A lot of times we're moving through these celebrations and family gatherings and stuff like that, and we've set goals for ourselves. Maybe we've set goals all year long. And so how can we set realistic goals that we can stick to when it comes to healthy eating, especially with all this happening?
Yeah, so I personally focus on setting SMART goals. So it's an acronym, okay? The S is for specific, and then measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That's our SMART goals. So instead of saying like, oh, I'm going to quit eating dessert, that's not realistic, right? So it might be, I'm only going to have dessert on Saturday and Sunday evening this week. Or instead of, I'm going to start exercising every day, it might be, I'm going to go on 3 30-minute walks this week.
Gotcha. Attainable goals. Okay. Again, not the all or nothing. Okay. Any final thoughts on healthy eating as we go through the upcoming season?
Yeah, just remind yourself eating always looks different during the holiday season. So give yourself some grace. We just go back to our norm afterward.
Gotcha. Well, we thank you so much for the realistic recommendations. We appreciate that so much. And if you missed any of this, this is going to be in the 2-year well-being section of our website.